Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on YouTube. And today I want to really go over something that I feel in masculinity we're not handling very well. And that is the guarding of the things that really bother us as men. And this is coming to you because of the fact that I just recently lost, and a lot of my friends, we recently lost an old Ranger buddy to taking his own life. And the serious nature of this cannot be understated that, for all intents and purposes, he was a beautiful human being. He was probably one of the nicest people I'd ever met in my life. I remember many days back with him in battalion and how he just was a very positive person in a place where positivity wasn't very much celebrated. But in all of that, I watched him on Instagram over the years and watched how he still held that light and that positivity and that love and that enjoyment and that funness. But at the end of the day, we don't know what's going on in people's heads, and we don't know what's going on with men emotionally. And for all of you men out there, this isn't just, us guys who've seen war and combat and seen the horrors that can happen there. It's for all of us men, because, your problems are your problems in the sense that there's no gradation, right? Like if they're big to you, they're fucking big, man. And if they affect you, they fucking affect you. There's no comparing them to me or anybody else or somebody who's been abused in their life or somebody who was a drug addict or whatever it was. There's no comparing it. Your brain doesn't see it that way. Trauma is trauma for human beings. And so if it's a big deal to you, if it's something that's affecting you, then you need to come out and speak about it with people who can really support you, because at the end of the day, nobody knows what's ailing you. Nobody can step in and give you ideas or go with you on a journey or do something to help you through that process if you're not willing to talk about it. And at the end of the day, if you're not willing to talk about it, and then what are you willing to risk? Your own life? Because we don't know how every day is going to show up for us, and some days become worse than others. And for a lot of men out there that are really struggling deep down, yeah, they can look fine on the surface. They can last a lot of years, and then all of a sudden one day gets too hard and they take their own lives. And that is becoming too often a theme that we're seeing amongst veterans and amongst men in general. Men follow through with this action, and it's depressing and sad because we're losing too many good men at such young ages. This doesn't have to happen, guys. And if you can simply just open up yourself to the men out there that can support you. I understand our women are amazing, but at the end of the day, it's something different to have your brothers support you. I talked about this recently on a podcast, and to have your brothers there to know what you're feeling, to know what it's like to be a man and the thoughts that kind of progress from that, because we tend to have similar lines of thinking. And so when you can open up to men that can truly be there and hold the space for you and to do stuff with you that gets you out of that funk or brings you into a different perspective that sees the value in yourself and in this world and helps you get through that trauma, or maybe has a technique, maybe has something that you can go to with them that will help you move through that trauma, maybe even process that trauma, right? Reach out to those guys, man. It's just, I get really bent up about this because I've lost too many friends at young ages to suicide. I've lost too many friends to war. I've lost too many friends to so many things that just we're losing our youthful men who are conditioning the next generation. And it's due to the fact that in a lot of cases, men aren't willing to open up and see that there is help and receive that help. So first thing, guys, if you're really struggling and you're feeling like you're being depressed, open up to some form of a circle that you have of men who are truly open to supporting you. And or even reaching out to somebody that you respect in the men's space, myself included, or any other men out there that are in the men's space and you're following them on Instagram, just shoot a message to them. Let them know what's going on with you. Maybe they can help you. Maybe they'll reach out and say, hey, brother, I got your back. Let me give you some support. Here's some techniques. Maybe I was going through something similar and this is how I got out of that funk, whatever it is. But guys, if we're not going to open up about this stuff, we're never going to get past where we are right now. We're going to continue to lose great men to their own darkness, because the fact that they aren't willing to open up and share and allow themselves to be put in a place of being held. And the second piece to this, guys, is if you're willing to actually just open up and share with somebody, be willing to receive. You know, I know that when we get into our own dark states of negativity, we start to see everything as negative. So maybe my friend is trying to bring me up and give me some positive feedback and a positive outlook. Maybe they're trying to put me on the right path, and all I'm doing is seeing the negative, and all I'm doing is saying the negative. And it's easy to be in that when you're in the moment, when you're in the emotions of that. But if you go into this thinking like, man, I really need to open up. Let me call my brother and let me talk to him about it. Let me call my best friend. Let me call my circle, my tribe. Let me talk to somebody. Let me just text message them. Before you even make that decision, put yourself in the right mindset to actually receive and say, hey, man, I'm going to listen to what they have to say. And if there's something that comes out of this that can really support me, I'm going to take action on it. Like, give yourself that primer before you even step into it. It's what I teach men a lot, is the threshold, the threshold check, which is, you know, how, when you cross a threshold, stop for a moment and think about how you want to be on the other side of that threshold, whether it's a loving father, whether it's in a leadership role, whether it's confident, whether it's, you know, supportive, whatever it is. But you visualize and put into your consciousness how you want to be on the other side of that threshold. And it's the same thing. If you're going to open up about this stuff to somebody, just prime your mind to say, how do you want to show up on the other side of that information, the other side of giving that information to that person, which is, hey, I want to receive. I want to receive whatever it is they have for me. And if you do that, I promise you, you're going to start to make strides in your own psyche, in your own mindset, and you're going to step forward. Man, I just hate to see anybody take their life, man or woman. But right now we're seeing really a pandemic of men losing their lives to themselves. And we need you guys to really just open up and allow us to support you. If you're struggling, guys, it's okay to be struggling. It's okay to have demons, but it's not okay to not open up about them and allow somebody in your life to be there for you. And I say allow your brothers because I think there's a big, huge benefit to the men. But if you feel comfortable and have women in your life that you can open up to, who are going to support you and give you that, open up to them. I don't care. Like, open up to somebody, give it to them. Because, you know, losing another brother to suicide is not okay. And it's so terrible, and it hits incredibly hard because of the fact that it's unnecessary. And there's work that we can do together. There's work that you can do to get out of that place. And there's so many different modalities, even if it's going to a therapist or even if it's going to plant medicine, right? Plant medicine has hugely widely beneficial effects to PTSD, to men struggling with trauma, to individuals struggling with trauma in general. But I'm just giving you guys modalities. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just letting you guys know there's methods out there. And if you guys are just willing to open up, we can support you. We, as in the people who love you. And you men out there that are struggling, that are watching this, men that are out there that maybe you have an inkling to reach out to a brother because you're just like, man, I really want to get a hold of him. I just haven't talked to him in a long time. Or, hey, man, I'm just really feeling called. Reach out to that brother. I mean, that's on us too, right? Like, reach out to him. Be like, hey, bro, I just wanted to check in on you. How you doing, man? I just was thinking about you, wanted to say hi. And if you're getting that strong pull to do it, the universe is probably speaking to you, or God's probably speaking to you for a reason. Okay? So feed into that instinct to reach out to your friends, to your family, to whoever it is you're feeling called to, because you could just actually save their lives. You could be the one that says, hey, man, I hear you. And he finally opens up. How can I support you, bro? Or, hey, why don't we go on a trip in a couple weeks? Let's go make some plans to go to the mountains. We're going to hang out, frickin' have some drinks and just shoot the shit and relax. And we're just going to talk about life. Maybe that's all he needs. But if he won't open up and we're not willing to ask the questions, then we're both failing each other. And that's why we're losing men. So guys, my heart hurts right now for losing another brother to suicide. And my heart hurts for all the men out there who are struggling right now and not speaking up about it. Because I don't want to see you guys go down this path. I don't want you guys to put yourselves in that position where you're even contemplating it. And I don't want, if you have families, I don't want your families to have to deal with that and be like, wow, we just lost somebody that was incredibly important to us. Somebody who gave us the world. So guys, just, if you're feeling low, if you're feeling like you're down that path, whether you reach out to me or somebody else, just reach out. And if you reach out to me and there's anybody I can connect you with that I know of who supports this kind of stuff, if you're really in deep and really in dark and you really need professional help, we'll get you that professional help, guys. But I wanted to deliver this message because right now, as of tomorrow, I'm flying out, and by the time you guys see this, this will have been a couple weeks past. But I'm flying out to go to this funeral and to see a brother who's no longer living now, and who was such a bright light for this world in so many different ways. And the way I remember him, the way I knew him, was a bright light in my life, even during a time when that wasn't celebrated too much. And I hate to see that leave this world, and it's no longer here. So guys, I really, really ask you, please reach out if you're struggling. And for all you men out there that are really doing well and but are feeling called to reach out to certain people in their lives, listen to that instincts, guys. Those are there for a reason. Something's calling you to that. Maybe you need to be the first one to step up and give that guy permission to talk. But if you do, maybe you just saved his life. All right, guys. I know this is more of a somber episode, and it is really around masculinity because men today aren't opening up. Men today are still protecting themselves way too much, and they're guarding their emotions, and they're not allowing people to see them and hear them and support them. And this goes for all you men, even if you're not even in a significantly depressed state. If you're not contemplating suicide, but you do feel sad and you do feel alone, open up to people. Give them the opportunity to support you. There's a lot of people that are thinking about you and love you. I promise you, more than you know. They may not be reaching out, but there are. So, all right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next week.